Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined by Preston, Sports Cheetah, and we're going to start a new series with the videos. It's going to be Q&A with Cheetah. We're going to let you guys ask us questions on Twitter, and then we're going to answer some of the best questions each week here in a video. And Preston, we've got some questions that came through this week. One of them is, and I'll let you give the Twitter handle if you want to try to hit these guys with their Twitter handles.
His name's Kevin. The Twitter handle's at KMESROBI, Kamsarabi. I don't know how you say it.
He's asking you, is there value betting on futures in the conference tournaments and the tournament as opposed to rolling the plays over with straight bets?
Yeah, it was a good question. I've talked about it before a few times on podcasts or just on Twitter in general. And I had someone else that asked is at Joe Boo. He is a guy that's always constantly talking with people on Twitter and trying to get info. But he asked specifically, and I'll use this as an example, about Utah plus 400 to win the Pac-12. And so to kind of go back to the original question, you ultimately have to have a set of power ratings, and you need to see the bracket. You need to be able to, see generally who they're going to be playing, and line up the games, see what the spread would be, equate that to a money line price, and a percentage or likelihood that they win the game, and kind of break it down. And I'll do that for you with Utah here in a second. But that way you can kind of get a sense of, if I'm rolling it over, how much is it going to pay versus what's the price they're offering before the tournament. And more often than not, almost 100% of the time, you're going to get more value rolling it over. The caveat, or I guess the difference, is that you can't always be 100% correct guessing who they're going to be playing. And so I'll get to an example here in this Utah one. But if you assume they're going to be playing the best teams the whole way, then your price will be better. But sometimes there's upsets in these tournaments, and you could have a 10 or 11 seed that then they're a huge favorite against, kind of kill that rollover value. But generally, it's still going to be similar anyway at worst. And then most of the time, I think getting a better price. You have Utah plays in the first round the winner of USC, UCLA later today. And so they'll be 2.5 or 3 point favorites in that game. So I probably should have done this before I came on. Like minus 160 or so on the money line. So say you have $100 that you want to put on this future on Utah to win the Pac-12. Minus 160 would win you about $60, $62 or so. So you win that. You have $162. They're likely going to play Cal in the next round, which would be about a pick. So say you win another $150 there. You have about $310, and the final is going to be Arizona or Oregon. Either way, they're probably going to be short dogs, plus 105, plus 110. You do the math there, you win another $340 if they win that. So that's a total of $650 that you've netted rolling over your $100 investment. And you take that $100 out that you invested initially, and you made $550, or plus 550.
Right.
So that is better than the plus 400 in the sense of the Pac-12. If Washington pulls some upsets and Utah plays Washington in the final, then you're not going to getting plus 110 in the last game. You're getting minus 250 or something. That changes things. So that's where the caveat is we want to look at. But in this case, I think it's Arizona or Oregon for sure coming out of that side of the bracket. And so I would wait. Don't bet the future now. Wait for Utah to match up against USC or UCLA and then roll it over.
And anytime, whenever you are mapping that out, look at that last game of the team that you're taking. And if more than likely they're going to be the underdog, obviously it's going to give you the better odds for your payoff, but it also gives you the possibility, if they're going to be an underdog, where you could hedge a little bit the other way if you wanted to, and have, a team,
Yeah, real quick, the positive thing about doing the rollover too is, if let's say it's a bad spot or they've won a couple games in the matchup, you just don't like it, you can always stop after 2 games or 3 games of a rollover and just pocket what you've won. When you bet plus 400 before the tournament, it's risked, it's gone. Yeah.
We got about a minute left here. We got one more question. A guy asked you, Jeff, his handle. He wanted to know if you do anything differently versus capping the tournament versus the regular season.
Yeah, Twitter handles, I love it. It's at Jetlef French, which is a shout out, I think, to the basketball player Detlef Schrempf, played for the Sonics years ago. I was young, I was a kid, I don't even remember him very well, but it's a funny Twitter handle. Go back and watch the last video we did. If you're watching this first, go check it out. We did some tips on how to cap the tourney, and I gave some advice there. To kind of piggyback on how that one finished, we talked about playing totals first half. I look at unders and playing the first half in those versus playing the full game. So on the flip side, I want to add to it and kind of answering his question. When I do like an over, a lot of the time I'll only risk about half of my bet before the game starts, because a similar thing, it's the first time in the arena opening weekend, butterflies, we talked about it on the last video. I'll generally get a better price in game or even at halftime, play the second half over, and a better adjusted number doing that. And so I won't risk my entire bet on an over before the game. So unders, you know, I split it up where I do all my on the first half. Overs kind of the reverse. I don't bet at all until I can get a better adjusted number after
especially
a slow start.
with the slow start. Yeah, absolutely. All right, great stuff, guys. This will be a series we're going to be doing, so send those questions in to Cheetah each week through Twitter, and we'll answer them here on the videos. And guys, hey, this week, if you want to save $10 at WagerTalk, one of our guests this week was Mark. We're going to have in his honor a coupon code, Mark and the number 10. Now it's Mark, M-A-R-C, and the number 10, and you'll get $10 off any package this week at WagerTalk. Enter it at the checkout and save yourself $10. We'll have more videos here at WagerTalk.com.